with anything, it's not the kind of car you drive. It's not the amount of, muscle tissue you have on your frame. It's not like anything. As a kid, there was like all sorts of interesting stuff. My dad's completely recovered drug addict. Like he was like very deep into crack cocaine. He'd come home with like bullet holes in the car on occasion. That just happened one time, but it was like shit like that. So like pretty heavy of just experiencing like your main father, your main male figure in that orientation as a 16-year-old. And so I've kind of glossed around a lot of that stuff and kind of said things like, oh, it was really interesting. It was really fascinating. It's like, no, it was like scary and hard, for like a little boy that is trying to find an anchor in the world.
Scary and confusing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so I think being open, like a lot of this strong guy stuff is a lot of people that are brilliant compensators, which I would say I'm maybe not a brilliant compensator, but definitely a compensator. And they've arrived to a point where they're bigger than anyone, they're stronger than anyone, they have more money than anyone, they've got a hotter chick than anyone, and there's still a feeling of like, more. At least that's my experience.
We were talking about this yesterday, but I'm curious about that. Like, for all of us, to an extent, I can speak for myself, where
I'm bringing guns out here.
There we go, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
Jump on the YouTube.
Are you guys seeing this right now?
We should pose off.
Like the Mike O'Hearn episode.
Look at them shoulders.
Thank you.
This guy's veined out right now.
Veined out.
All right.
He's trying to hide it.
Dude, you see the
stand like that the whole podcast.
He tried to hide it, but then striations came out of his shoulders.
The most dangerous person, I think, is the behind the back, like the Masvidal before he knocked out Askren.
Oh God.
Shit.
Like you start out a fight and you're kind of behind the back. You're not. So this is an interesting thing. When a person is posturing as though like I'm the biggest, I'm the strongest, I want to show you that.
Yeah.
It's always insecurity. Unless they're like playing 3D chess, where they're kind of like layering on top of insecurity on top of confidence on top of insecurity, or however that order would go. But a person that can come from that place and get the ribs to stack effectively over the pelvis, and the pelvis over the knees and over the feet, and just have this kind of like, the cylinder is stacked. They're breathing confidently. That breath is moving horizontally down low into the ribs. It's not up into the, the upper lobes of the lungs, which are very small. You're not actually getting good airflow in there. And it's just boom.
If someone came
It's very cool.
If someone comes into a fight like that, you'd have to be highly uncomfortable. Because if they're like, I'm going to fight you right now.
Do you know that vision? Can you pull up the Masvidal?
Yeah, when he's
fight?
like sitting on
right, because it was a
cage.
9-second fight, so you can see in the beginning.
Yeah, was his leg on the cage? He was like this or whatever?
Gnarly. Like that, you see somebody like that, it's like, oh no, what have I done? How do I get out of this situation?
But, okay. Actually, let's just watch
Here it is.
This
Here it is. God. This is history.
This is worth
And he's like,
history,
boy, I'm
bro.
gonna smoke you, motherfucker. Look at him.
Position. Yeah.
And
Oh,
later, career over.
Jesus.
that's a little sad, but
That's very sad. Was that Ben Askren's last fight?
It was his last big fight.
Yeah, he came back a little bit. And
yeah.
Okay.
Compared to Conor McGregor, Khabib, and now one of his most famous, it was Khabib, right? Where the most famous situation when he came out, he does his like gorilla strut thing, knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was knocked out, but
The scariest
lost.
part was when him and Khabib were on the stage, and Khabib was like, "Say it now, say it now." You just gonna punch him
I
or whatever he was saying.
love Khabib. Like I actually think I love Khabib.
Talk now.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Yeah. It's like,
shit
oh,
like that.
shit.
That quiet confidence and like dependability, I have great admiration for.
Yeah.
It's very cool the way that he does life.
What's up, Power Project family? It's time to stop dressing like you're a fucking preschooler and step your game up by checking out Viore clothing. Now, I'm not one to talk. I wear a fucking pink hat that has a dog on it, but at the end of the day, at least my shirt and shorts are popping. So head to Viore because they have great stuff for your top and your bottom. Andrew, how can they get it?
Yes, you guys got to head over to viore.com/power project. That's VUORI.com/power project. And you guys will automatically receive 20% off your order. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
It was pretty awesome. Okay, this is what I was going to ask you about. using or like, let's say using strength as a mask for your insecurities or whatever. We talked about it before where when we feel a level of stress, discomfort, or whatever, like I remember someone important to me died a few years ago.
Yeah.
And my immediate thing was like, when I heard about it, I was like, fuck. And I was like, I need to go jujitsu. Like that was just where my brain went, because I knew that by physically exerting myself, I'll be able to think about this in a more clear fashion. Right.
True.
So it makes you wonder, I look at that as a healthy way, as a healthy thing for myself. Might not be the thing that everyone goes towards, but using that, it seems as if like it's not necessarily we lift to lift our insecurities, but more so it can be a form of exertion so you can think clearer about other things. At least that's how it is for myself.
Yeah. Well, yes. With anything, it's not the kind of car you drive. It's not the amount of muscle tissue you have on your frame. It's not like anything. It's what's at the root of like why you're doing that. So if you're a person that's not like me and has a healthy, historically has a healthy relationship with exercise and putting on muscle and, all of those things, that's amazing. Like I'm so, grateful that exists. And for that, it's the same output of they're both muscular or have a nice car or, nice watch or whatever. But at the root of it, there was one person that was almost like enslaved by that, and like this is common in, as you guys are, learning more about, like ultra runners oftentimes are like ultra running away from something, not always, but there's drug addiction is something that's not like, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's there, and that's like, okay, what is that? I'm like, what if I'm just here with myself, it's too much. Okay. I'm just going to run.
Can't be idle.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just going to keep going. And now it's great because your muscles are essentially like endocrine organs, you could say, and so you're producing all the different irisin and the BDNF and all the things that, the corresponding neurochemicals and hormones that make you feel better. So it's like a super healthy outlet. But even so, you will temporarily feel better, but are you just quelling a deeper sensation of actual dissatisfaction or fear or shame or like whatever the story is?
Yeah.
Or are you coming from a place of like, no, I just like tapping into my endogenous medicine cabinet and I do it from a healthy place. It's not like if you have a bunch of money and a bunch of muscles, like, you're hurt, but maybe. Yeah. It could be a compensation.
Something to think about as an individual. Like look at why you're doing that, why you're choosing to.
Yeah, why? Just why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was this like, well, I guess before we transition to that, I was going to say something that I observed, it's very difficult to fix the mind with the mind. So we do have the ability to reinterpret stuff, but something else has to happen other than just reinterpretation a lot of times, especially with like a trauma from your childhood, something that really disturbed you, something that really moved you. Even as an adult, you might be more mature and you might have new thoughts on stuff. And you might say, well, it's a choice for me to be sad about that. And that is true. It's a choice for you to be sad, mad. It's a choice. And everyone has that right to feel whatever way they want to feel. Something I've learned over the years is that you can choose how you feel in a way that favors you the best. Again, however, I don't think you can only heal the mind with the mind. So you'll probably have to actually give these things a little bit more thought, and they might need to be worked through in other ways than just your thinking.
Yeah.
Exercising, doing challenging, hard things, just keeping your eyes open. You and I were just talking about like looking up, like looking at the sky and just observing the world around you, trying to find beauty, trying to find happiness and other things. So yeah, a lot of that is going on in the mind, but I think some physicality, some sort of physical something, we talked about just getting in the sunlight, going on a walk. Yeah. A lot of these physical things can really help as well. So we know that psychologically you could be damaged to where it's paralyzing. We know physically you can be paralyzed to where it can negatively impact your mind. And we know with Nsima, who's been very athletic most of his life, when he had an injury in soccer, it was misery for a while, right? Like it was really, it was really, really tough. So it's easy sometimes for us to look at other people and to judge and to say, I don't understand, like, you know, I got off the couch when I was fat. How come that guy can't get off the couch when he's heavy? And because that guy has a different experience going on. He's got different shit going on.
Yeah.
Hey, I know you guys enjoyed the video, so like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord below. Talk to y'all later.